Welcome to this presentation of the version of the Lakeridge lottery entry system as of May 22nd, 2015. So I'm going to put in the URL to the site, which is simply lrtennis.com, and it's going to I'm going to point out some of the changes from the previous site, so bear with me those to whom this is all new. But we are now letting you define who you are, that is who the person doing the submitting of the bid is, and who the bid is submitted for. We're letting you do that on this screen so that the system can remember that information for all the days that you're going to submit it, so you don't need to redefine that information. So I'm going to say that it's my wife, Stacy, who's doing it. Now, notice that I can start typing in anything that I know about the user. So in this case, I'm typing in the user ID. Everyone's user ID is their unit number, their unit address, followed by a digit. So every resident within a unit gets a unit ID, which is the unit number with a letter. So it might be, in my case, 407B is Stacy and 407A is David. I could also start typing read. As soon as the system gets at least 3 characters, it starts showing matches. And we can see here that in addition to myself and Stacy, Mr. Friedman and Miss Friedman, who also have the word R-E-E-D, or the letters R-E-D in their names appear. And if I just start typing 407, I notice that I get some entries which don't intuitively seem as if they would match 407. The reason Rodney Lewis and Anna Viseka come up when I start typing 407 is that they have enabled Stacy to be their agent, to enter bids for them, and the system recognizes that association and therefore brings up the potential matches. So I'm going to click on Stacy in this case, and notice that the system assumes that the person that you're submitting for is the same person who's doing the submitting. If that's different, then you can change the submitted for. Another way you can change either of these entries is just by clicking on the plus, and then you get a user list. But since they're about close to 1,000 users, instead of paging through all this, unless the person happens to be towards the beginning, and these are ordered by unit number, so the lower units will appear first. So if it's someone in a lower unit, this is a fine way to pick, but if it's not, you're better off just typing part of their name, and then you can very quickly get to them. Now, I'm going to show you that if I change who is doing the submitting, it will always assume that the submitted for person is the same as the submitted by. So always change the submitted for after you change the submitted by. So I'm going to go ahead and submit as myself, first for Saturday, May 30th. And you get up here a little message specific to the day with some information that the West Lodge may want you to have. There's a reminder of where you can see this video. It shows you who the bid is by and who the bid is for. And then I can actually start creating my bid entry. So the system allows you to do both inside and outside as part of one bid. So notice that in the winter we have indoor options, which are the normal indoor options. That shows us every combinations of courts 1, 2, and 3. But in the summer, court 3 is not available for the lottery, and so it only shows the combinations of court 1 and 2. Similarly, you might see, like right now we have an outdoor for May, because in May only certain of the courts were available as they transitioned from winter to summer. As we went through the mud season, only certain courts were available, but at a certain point, all of the outdoor courts become available. So you might see different options of types of court options available here. And in addition, you can save your own court options, and I'll show you how to do that. So let's say I want to do my indoor courts first, and I prefer having court 2 first and then court 2, so then court 1. So what you do is you select the court sequence that you want with the courts you want the most on the left in decreasing order to the right. So I prefer court 2 over court 1. And then you click on the times that you want. So I'm going to click 9:30, 11, and 12:30. Then I'm going to do my outdoor courts. And here are the standard outdoor options, but I have my own outdoor option. And I'm going to select that. Once you have the sequence, the court sequence that you want here, then you can pick your times. Now, I'm going to clear, so what actually gets submitted is this string. This string represents the court and time sequences that you want. So you can see 9:30, court 2, court 1, 11 o'clock, court 2, court 1, 12:30, court 2, court 1, then 9:30. So notice that actually my custom bid actually had both my indoor and outdoor as one string, which you can do as well, and then for 11. If you want to define your own custom string, so I'm going to clear that and start over. If you wanted to define your own custom string, you can. Let's say, you can do both your indoor and your outdoor, but you don't have to. You can create multiple custom strings. So, but the way to do it is just to type out the courts in the order that you want, whatever that would be, and then to hit Save Custom Bid if you want it saved for it to be here next time. You don't need to save it. So if I only wanted to use it for right now, I would enter it here and then click on my times. And the way the system works is that if there is a value in here, that's what's used when you click on the times. If there is no value there, then it uses whatever's in this window. And if there is a value here and you click on this button, then it will save it, so it will be a choice in here next time you come in. So one more time, I'm going to, so I defined my entire string of desired courts for 9:30 and 11, and then let's say I only want indoor courts for 12:30. So that's the bid that I want. Now before I save it, let's look at some other issues. Right now, I have no email confirmations defined. So I'm going to define a new email to send confirmations to. So I enter my email in here and I click this button, Add New Email for the Submitted By person, and I get a confirmation that it will be available to me next time I come into the screen. Now, if the submitted for person was different than the submitted by person, then you could hit this button and would take whatever email address is in here and it would associate it with this other person. So anyway, now I have my bid in, and this is my bid, and I'm going to hit Save Entry. You can hit either this button or this button. Now, these screens are designed to adapt to whatever format monitor or phone or tablet you're using. So the layout may look different on on your screen, but it's the same material, it just may be laid out a little differently. And before the lottery entry becomes official, you must hit either this button or this button. And when it goes back to this screen, you know you've been saved. Now I'm going to, without resetting this information, I'm going to go ahead and do the same thing for Sunday. And notice that my system gets pre-populated with who is making the bid and who's receiving the bid. And notice now that my email address is populated because last time I was here, I typed it in and I hit add new email. So I will get my email confirmation without doing anything else here. So I'm going to, once again, I'm going to pick my desired custom string and hit 9:30 and 11, and then I'm going to hit my indoor and hit 2 and 1 and hit 12:30, and that is the bid that I want, and I want it to be sent to these confirmations. So once you're set up, in like 3 or 4 clicks, you're completely done, and I'm going to hit Save Entry. And I'm done. Now, if I take a look at my email, and here are my lottery confirmations telling me the bid was accepted for May 31st, submitted by Reed David, submitted for Reed David, submitted, here's the date when it was submitted and the unit number, the day of game, and this is the sequence of courts and times that I applied for, and then a similar one for 5:30. So I got this because I subscribed to it as a confirmation. Now once you're done making your bids, you can just close the browser. Now if for some reason you don't have access to your email or you didn't register your email for a confirmation and you want to see what your bid, most recent accepted bid is, and remember, it's the last bid that counts, and whatever the last bid is must have all the courts that you want, both indoors and outdoors. So you can check that by creating a shortcut with a link like this. All right, and I'm going to click on that to show you. So you can create a shortcut right on your desktop, and this is showing me all the bids that are currently in the system for me, and these are the submitted dates and the dates of play. So this is the one I did right now here, and that's the submitted court, and here are the courts, and here's May 31st, date of play for the 31st. It was submitted today, and here's the sequence of courts. So this is the court I want the most, this is the court I want the least, and it shows you them in sequence. And there is also a link to show the results of the lottery, and then you can also make a shortcut on any of your desktops, any of your devices, this link right here, and that will show you the current tennis schedule for the games that have actually been awarded. Could take a moment or two to come up, and there we see the games for May 23rd and May 24th and May 25th. And we even go out future because Court 3 has been pre-allocated to Peter. So these are the results of the lotteries that have been run. And in the future, we hope people will add their their other players, so then you'll be able to see whether you're the lottery winner or just a player in a game. You'll be able to see your full schedule. Thank you very much.